Hello, my name is Holden Asmus, CCA agronomist and seed treatment specialist for Asmus Farm Supply. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to come and watch this educational video. Today, we're going to cover a few topics concerning soybean seed treatment. We're going to talk about basic product information, some biological products, and stewardship methods for your seed treatment. Before I jump into the importance of seed treatment, I want to briefly explain the disease triangle. In order for a pest or a pathogen to survive, there needs to be three components. There needs to be the host plant, your pathogen, and compatible environment. Now, since growers really don't have control over the climate or factors such as weather, seed treatment can be really important to be used to help eliminate or to suppress the effects of those external factors. Since corn seed is pre-treated upstream by the major manufacturers of the seed, I'm mainly going to be focusing on soybean seed treatment, starting with base fungicide. Now, there are four key diseases that really impact soybeans: Fusarium, Pythium, Phytophthora, and Rhizoctonia. Each of these four diseases kind of come into effect at different temperatures of the soil and different conditions. To break down these temperature ranges, I'm going to be showing you a graphic provided by DuPont Pioneer. The four main diseases that impact soybean yield all thrive in different environmental conditions. In cooler soil temperatures, lower than 73 degrees Fahrenheit, Fusarium and Pythium are normally present in cold, moist soils. As soil temperatures start to warm up but remain saturated is when you start to see Phytophthора's effects. In the drier, unsaturated soils, you start to see Rhizoctonia. The point I'm trying to make is that there's always going to be a disease present in your fields. That's why it's crucial to have a fungicide seed treatment applied to your soybeans to help control or suppress the effects of these diseases. The importance of treating soybean seed with insecticide treatments is to protect the seed from early season pests. Multiple pests can be controlled with seed treatments. The most common early season pests are the bean leaf beetle, the true white grub, and the seed corn maggot. While in the larva stage, these pests feed on roots or germinating seeds, causing damage to the embryo. This may lead to delayed development or possibly the plant's death. The use of an insecticide seed treatment will reduce the populations of these pests to help the seeds emerge more evenly. The insecticide seed treatment products available on the market for soybeans even have some systemic control of early season soybean aphids. It's crucial for an insecticide seed treatment to be applied to your soybeans to help reduce the damage of insects, both at early season and in season, to increase photosynthetic intake, which can lead to higher yields. The next level of control to consider when applying seed treatment products to soybeans would be to control soybean cyst nematodes. Soybean cyst nematodes right now are the lead cause of yield loss, estimating about 120 million bushels of soybeans annually are lost due to damage to the soybean cyst nematode. They're a very kind of fast-growing pest. Anywhere from 24 to 30 days is where the full life cycle of a nematode can take place. So it's really important to control them because a population can get out of hand very quickly. The next concern with the soybean cyst nematodes is that they're starting to show a resistance to the PI 88788 trait, which is the common variety added into soybean genetics to help control the soybean cyst nematode on a natural level. In the state of Iowa, there's actually showing about 56% of the population of soybean cyst nematodes are resistant to the PI 88788 trait. That's why it's crucial to have a nematicide added in there, something similar to a Votivo or Clariva or Alivo, which I'll get into later when I'm talking about products. So a big concern with the soybean cyst nematodes as well, as they are proven to kind of be the catalyst between the soil-borne Fusarium virguliform and the eventual infection of your soybeans with sudden death syndrome, or SDS, which is the next level of control I'd like to start to talk about. SDS is in second place behind the soybean cyst nematodes for the leading damage to your soybean yields. SDS has both above and below ground features that are easy to distinguish. The above ground features, you can see yellow to brown lesions in between the veins of your leaves. which leads to eventual dying of the soybean plant. Below ground, you start to see the main causes of root rotting disease. So you start to see brown to woody tissues, some lesions on your roots, and that's kind of the real cause of SDS. Now there are genetic tolerances that are available through your trait packages on your soybeans, but sometimes that isn't always the best level of protection you can have. Now, the SDS seed treatment products aren't necessarily silver bullets. There isn't anything out there right now that can completely eradicate SDS from your fields, but what it could do, let's say for example, you have on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, you have a product that's like a 5 in SDS tolerance. If you treat it with an SDS product, it might get it to, a 7 or a 6. What it'll do is it'll help control the SDS to increase the tolerance on your soybeans, leading to better production and higher yields. So just to recap what we've talked about before moving on to the next topic, we've briefly discussed the importance of treating each level of soybean pests available from the base fungicide packages all the way up to SDS control. Now I'd like to move on to a product breakdown through active ingredients. The chart that you guys are seeing before you right now is an active ingredient breakdown of the available seed treatment products currently available on the market for soybeans. There are multiple active ingredients that are currently available on the market to control both your fungicides and your insecticides. We're going to start with your fungicide products. What's currently available through Acceleron from Monsanto are active ingredients called pyraclostrobin, which is commonly found in headline, and fluxapyroxad. With the combination of these two, you're going to see your Pythium, Fusarium, and Rhizoctonia control. To control Phytophthora, metalaxyl is added to Acceleron. Now there are 3 base levels of Acceleron: Acceleron Basic, Acceleron Standard, and Acceleron Elite, where each one another level of control is added. In your Acceleron Standard, Gaucho or imidacloprid is added to control insects. And looking at Acceleron Elite, Votivo is added to add control of nematodes. If you'd like control for SDS, they recommend adding Alivo at the SDS rate. The Pioneer Premium Seed Treatment Package, or PPST, has multiple levels as well: FST, IST, and FST-IST. Moving to the Pioneer PPST FST levels, you have prothioconazole for Pythium and Fusarium control, penflufen for Rhizoctonia, and metalaxyl for Phytophthora. Adding the IST, or Gaucho, would make it a fungicide-insecticide combo. And just like Acceleron, if you'd like to have control of your SDS, they recommend adding Alivo. Moving on to the Syngenta packages, Apron Max is available as a base fungicide with fludeoxonil and mefenoxam to control your basic Pythium, Fusarium, and Phytophthora diseases. To add control of Rhizoctonia, you'd add Vibrance, which has the active ingredient of sidaxane, to your Apron Max. The Cruiser Max Vibrance product from Syngenta is their full-line fungicide and insecticide seed treatment. With thiamethoxam, or Cruiser, as the insecticide control, you have a broad-spectrum fungicide product that has additional insecticide control. For the nematicide level of Chloriva, you'd be adding the biological product Chloriva PN to control nematodes. And for SDS, you would be adding their Murtec 340 product. Intego Sweet from Valent is a fungicide-insecticide seed treatment product where the active ingredient on the insecticide is poncho or clothianidin. The active ingredients in fungicide would be ibuconazole, metalaxyl, and their new ingredient, ethoboxam. The leading product for sudden death syndrome control is Alivo by Bayer Crop Sciences. Alivo's active ingredient is a fungicide called flopyrum. This fungicide helps control the effects of Fusarium virguliform, which is linked to SDS. Alivo also has control on soybean cyst nematodes, making it a strong addition to a fungicide-insecticide seed treatment package. It's important to know the active ingredients inside alternative platforms from what you're using just to be aware of the products that are being used to help with potential resistance management. In the past few years, biological products have made multiple impacts on the seed treatment market. There are multiple ways that you can use biological products in your seed treatment lineups. The first approach would be an active ingredient with bacteria such as Pasteuria nishizawa or Chloriva PN. They can be used as a way to control pests in your soybean lineups. The way that Chloriva would work is it actively targets nematodes, infects the nematode, and essentially blows it up, which is pretty intriguing. There are also biological fungicides that haven't quite reached the market but are in current research. The next way that you can use biologicals would be as a nutrient uptake aid. Products such as PPST's 2030 or the Bacillus villi that's added to your bacteria inoculant in Tag Team LCO. These products can essentially help your soybean plants uptake nutrients that are already available to it in the soil. The final approach would be to use a bacterial inoculant, usually a Bradyrhizobia. These Bradyrhizobia help increase nodulation on your soybeans, which is a sound idea to use after a heavy corn-on-corn rotation. What Bradyrhizobia do is help increase nodulation on your soybeans, along with a biological nutrient uptake. It can help nutrient uptake into your soybeans, which would increase production and raise your yields. There are multiple inoculants that are available on the market for soybean seed treatment, both in a liquid or in a dry formulation. Dry formulated products are a product that can be applied directly to the seed as it's going into a box, or can be used on the planter as a planter box treatment. These products would include Quick Roots and Graphex. Through our trials at Asmus Farm Supply, we've seen consistent positive results when pairing a Bradyrhizobia inoculant with your active ingredient seed treatment package. There are multiple inoculants available on the market, anywhere including from Pioneer's PPST 120 Plus to Optimize, Excalibur, Tag Team, Signum 1 Bioinducer, and many others. There are multiple reasons why product stewardship is important in seed treatment. First off, if you remember the seed treatment active ingredient chart that I explained earlier, the active ingredients are fairly limited, especially in our insecticide market. With the increased concern of neonicotinoid insecticides and its impact on bee cultures, it's crucial that we practice proper stewardship methods to preserve our active ingredients. The greatest way that we can preserve our seed treatments is to reduce the effects of dust off. So any time treated seed is either handled or moved, there's a potential for tiny portions of the treated seed to be eroded off in the form of dust. Now when you're transferring your seed from a tender to the planter or through the vacuum systems on most modern planters, there's a potential for off-target movement. When that dust settles on something like a flower, it poses a threat to pollinator health. So why is that important? Well, bees currently impact approximately $217 billion in food production worldwide. So it's crucial that we maintain a healthy bee population. So the real question to be asked is, are neonic insecticides the true cause of colony collapse disorder? Although they may have a detrimental effect on pollinator health, they are not the only cause. In the 2013 report of the National Stakeholders Conference on Honeybee Health, released by the USDA and the EPA, they actually found that the varroa mite was the leading cause of pollinator health. Other factors to bee health could also include beekeeper management practices, disease, changing climates, improperly used pesticides, and other reasons. Stewardship of insecticide seed treatment products is important because the primary seed treatment products with the trade names of Poncho, Gaucho, and Cruiser are all neonic insecticides. Should regulation be implemented, there are currently no alternative insecticides for the soybean market. So what are some ways that we can reduce the effects of dust off? The best way is to make sure that you have proper treating conditions at the time of treating. Since we can't control weather conditions such as high heat or humidity, we can look to multiple product alternatives, such as a liquid seed polymer that can be applied directly to your seed treatment. Using a seed polymer at the time of seed treatment helps your active ingredient product adhere better to the seed. Another alternative is a dry seed finisher, such as Pixie from AgriLead or Acceleron's E007. These products are treated in the drum at the time of secondary application of seed treatment products to help better lubricate the seed through your planter and to reduce use of talc graphite alternatives. Another option is to use Bayer Crop Science's Fluency Agent. Fluency Agent is a wax-based seed lubricant labeled for both corn and soybeans. It is meant to be an alternative for talc and graphite seed lubricants. Bayer's Fluency Agent is unique because it helps hold seed treatment to the seed and minimize dust-off by up to 90% according to laboratory testing. With the greatly reduced use rate of Bayer's Fluency Agent in comparison to talc and graphite-based seed lubricants, you may need to accurately recalibrate your current talc applicators. If you currently don't have a talc applicator, there are also specific applicators designed for the use of Fluency Agent called Changing Times Dry Applicators. These applicators are designed to establish a uniform application of Fluency Agent. Unplanted seeds that have been treated with a seed treatment are unable to be returned back into the market for feed or food usage. The FDA has a zero tolerance policy on treated seed entering the food and feed market. A single seed found in an untreated load of grain heading to the market could condemn the entire load, where then disposal of said grain is liable to the grower. The best way to prevent treated seeds from entering the grain supply is to keep your treated seed separate from your untreated grains. Make sure that your treated seed does not reach the feed for animals, and use designated sacks, conveyors, and other transportation uses for treated seed. Treated seed must be considered as excess pesticides and disposed of according to federal, state, and local regulations. Throughout the season, I have multiple questions that are asked to me. The first one, growers ask commonly how early they can have soybean seed treated. It really depends on the type of treatment that you're going to be putting on your seed. With some of the inoculants, their lifespan is limited to 75 days, all the way up to 120 days. Be sure to follow labeled application timelines in order to ensure that you have a high population of rhizobia when planting. Another question that I'm asked is seed treatment really required later on in the season? Although not required, it's still recommended that a fungicide seed treatment is applied to seeds planted later in the season. As I discussed earlier in this video, yield-robbing diseases thrive in different soil conditions. Although conditions may seem favorable, please remember that Phytophthora and Rhizoctonia could damage untreated seed. As I mentioned earlier in this presentation, there are multiple diseases that are present in various soil types, from cold and wet, warm and wet, all the way to warm and dry. So really, as the season progresses, there are different diseases that are present. That's why it's important to treat your seed with a fungicide seed treatment to ensure protection. If you want to control early season insects such as bean leaf beetles or corn seed maggots, it's important to have an insecticide treated. Another common question that I'm asked during the season is if there are any products available to treat over and upstream treated corn seed. There are multiple products available that help with nutrient uptake, such as Ascend and Commence. The thing that I would caution growers is that when applied over an upstream treated corn seed, some mechanical damages to the germ could take place, leading in lower germination rates. With an upstream treated corn seed, anything that's treated on top of that seed could void replant policies. Although there are some positive yield benefits to these products, please take this into consideration before having them applied to your seed. If you have any questions on the topics that I've covered today, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedules to watch this video.